Most photographers do not like when their client applies any type of filter to images that they provided. In fact, a lot of photographers take it as an insult. They take it personal. They get offended by it. They look at it as the client is saying, I can do your job better than you can. Some photographers will reach out to their clients, email them, DM them, text them and say, hey, take the picture down or untag me. The reality is, as photographers, we put a lot into what we do. We do become personally attached to our work. And I get it. I understand. We are doing a business. We are being paid for a service. We're delivering that service. We're making our money. So why is it such a big deal? Why do photographers get so bothered by it? And is it really detrimental to the photographer's business? To answer the first question, as I already kind of alluded to, as photographers, we put a lot into our craft. We put a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of money into being the photographers that we are. And when we take those pictures and we edit those pictures, that is ultimately our style. And when you hire a professional photographer, in essence, you are hiring them for all of those things. It really doesn't make sense to hire a professional photographer and pay the money that a professional photographer is charging just to turn around and slap a filter on those images. You very much could just take pictures yourself with your phone and do that, and it would save you a lot of money. So if you're going the extra mile to hire a professional photographer, it makes sense to trust their judgment and to allow them to edit those pictures based off of the style that they have. But do I think it's detrimental to the photographer's business? Now here's where my stance may be a little bit more controversial or unconventional or outside the lines of most photographers. I don't feel that it's detrimental, and I don't feel that it's worth policing this sort of thing to get people to remove their photos or untag. Now, let me just say, do I think that it has an impact on that photographer from a marketing standpoint? Yes, I do. You have clients who are taking a photographer's work and they're essentially changing that work. And by posting it and tagging that photographer, they're essentially putting that work out there and representing that photographer in a way that isn't true to how that photographer does his or her work. I agree to that. And if that were me, yes, that would be a problem. But I think I'm a realist in that I understand that in this day and age, we live in a world where filters and photo editing is almost as normal as everything else in this world today. Most images that are posted online have some sort of filter or photo editing or something of the sort done. Unfortunately, we don't live in the same real physical world that we once lived in. And social media and online presence has allowed people to essentially be the person that they want to be without actually being the person that they want to be. So trying to get someone to not use these filters or these photo editing apps is a job and chore all in itself. Now, as a photographer, I think that it's very, very important to communicate with your clients. Every client that I have, I emphasize why I don't like filters applied to my images and why I would appreciate if they did not add filters. And to answer a question, do I have something in my contract about it? Absolutely, 100%. But contracts are more a technicality than they are anything else. Just because there's something in a contract certainly doesn't mean that your client isn't going to do it or that they're going to adhere to whatever it is. And just because it's in your contract doesn't mean that it's easy to get things to be the way that they should be based off of your contract. But the reality is, as I said, people use filters. And as a professional photographer, the most that I feel that I can do is communicate with my client and get them to understand my point of view. When you get that understanding, then you typically don't have the problem of your clients posting these images with filters because you've come to that understanding. They see where you're coming from, they understand, and therefore they honor that, and you don't really have problems. To me, the photographers that are having the issue with their clients posting images with filters on it are photographers that are not clearly communicating with their clients up front. In doing so, most of this can be avoided. I feel that more photographers need to do that. If you are dealing with a lot of clients who are applying Instagram filters to your pictures, I am a strong believer that as a photographer, you missed the mark. You either did not deliver an image that was true to the work that you put on your portfolio, or you didn't understand your client. And I know that might get some people triggered, and it's a controversial statement, but that is how I feel wholeheartedly, and that is how I run my business. If I understand what my client is looking for, I understand the style that they like and the type of images that they want. Number one, I can decide if I am the photographer for them, because maybe I'm not. If they want the Instagram type of look, I'm not the photographer for them, because that's not the way that I edit my photos. And I can let them know that and say, you should find a photographer that edits in that style. If I know what my client is looking for and it fits within my style and how I edit, then I know that I'm going to be able to make them happy, and they're going to be very less likely to ever want to apply an IG filter, because my pictures are going to far exceed anything that an IG filter can do. And I want to reiterate and be clear, satisfying their needs doesn't mean going outside of being true to who you are as a photographer. A part of satisfying their needs is saying, I'm not the photographer for you. And we have to be okay with that. But as a bigger picture, do I feel that it's detrimental to a photographer's business? I do not. Let me give you an example. Have you ever been on Amazon or any business website looking at a product, and you look at reviews and you look at the 1-star or the 2-star reviews, and you see a review that's 1 star and you read it and it says, X carrier failed to deliver my package on time, 1 star. Now, that has absolutely nothing to do with the product. It has absolutely nothing to do with the manufacturer of that product, but yet this person has given them 1 star. Now imagine if there were thousands of people that rated that product 1 star, not because of the product, but because of the carrier that was delivering the product. I wouldn't stop there. I would read that review and I would say, well, that has nothing to do with the product, so that review is pointless to me. It may make me say, I don't want to use that carrier, but I'm certainly not going to not look more into that product simply because there were these 1 stars that had nothing to do with the product. I would do more work. I would do more research. I would read more reviews. When it comes to photography, I tend to feel that most of our clients would do the same exact thing. They're not going to look at one photo and say, oh, that photo is terrible, I would never want to work with that photographer. They're going to go look at your work. They're going to look at your Instagram. They're going to look at your Facebook. They're going to look at your portfolio. And they're going to look and see if the work that you have on those platforms is similar to the work that they've seen with the filter. And if not, and they like what you do, then they're more than likely still going to want to work with you. I look at it this way. If there's someone that's looking at an image that my client has posted and they've applied a filter, and that potential client is looking at just that one picture and they make the decision that they don't want to work with me off of just that one picture, then they did me a favor. I don't want to work with a client that would base my entire career off of an image that they see on Instagram that had a filter applied to it, and they couldn't even be bothered to do the work to come to my website or my Instagram to see what I'm really all about. I don't want that client, because most likely that's going to be a client that either A, doesn't fit within the style and the type of client that I want to work with, or B, they're going to be a difficult client to work with. So I see that as doing me a favor. So when I say that I don't feel that it's detrimental to a photographer's business, that is why. At the end of the day, clients, potential clients, repeat clients, they're going to do more homework on you as a photographer. Now I get it. You can argue, well, what if you have a lot of people who are posting filters to your images? If you have a lot of clients that are posting filters to their images, then I go back to saying you as a photographer have not done your job, and you must do better to understand your clients. So that is my stance. As photographers and as people who are hiring photographers, I hope that you can find value in this and you can move forward and we all can do better, so that at the end of the day, we all can be happy with what we are receiving and achieving. My name is Anthony Toglife, and I approve this message. No. No. What is your take? How do you feel about filters and photo editing as either a photographer or someone that is receiving images from a photographer? Please comment down below and let me know. I appreciate you watching this video. Until the next one, take care.